Okay, now step 2 is setting your goal. Another thing that you want to keep in mind while you're doing this business and anything in life in general, if you want your life to keep growing in a positive direction, then you need to keep educating yourself positively. So before we already talked about the why. Before I even go into the next step, which is setting your goal or goals, one thing you always want to keep in mind is constantly educating your mind. I spend about an hour every morning researching videos, listening to people like Tony Robbins, Eric Thomas, Jim Rohn on YouTube, even stuff about just science. So that way I'm just learning every day and becoming better as a person. So 2 things you can do, if you don't know where to start educating yourself on entrepreneurship, is getting 2 ebooks. One is called Think and Grow Rich. That is written by Napoleon Hill. And then the other one is called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's written by Robert Kiyosaki. That book is about, wealth building and the different styles you can build wealth. Think and Grow Rich is more about the qualities and attributes that all successful people have. So reading those 2 books is basically all you need to educate yourself and become better. So that way people, when they see that you're educated and bettering yourself, they're going to want to follow you. So in the step 2 is writing your goals. Now this is something we're never really taught in school. This is something that people don't really teach you. Maybe if you have like a sales job, that you kind of take it upon yourself to set goals and things like that. But for the most part, people don't know how to set goals, or they haven't. And when they do, they don't set them properly. They'll set them way out of reach. Maybe to make $10 million this year, and then they'll fall short and get discouraged because they're not making $10,000 within their first month or something like that. So they're setting the bar way too high. What you want to do is you want to set your goals SMART, and it's an acronym. You see right here I have the word SMART right now. The first part about setting your goals smartly, or in a smart manner, is being specific. That's what the S stands for. So if I wanted to lose weight, and I've been a personal trainer for about 3-4 years, I'll have people sit at my desk and they'll say to me, I want to lose weight. And then I say, okay, well, how much weight do you want to lose? And they don't know. So without knowing how much weight you want to lose, how do you really know what you're aiming for? It's kind of like being an archer and you're just saying, I want to shoot this thing straight, but you have no target. You're just firing aimlessly and you don't know if you're ever going to hit a target. So you want to set your goals specific. If your goal is to make money, and you want to make a lot of money, how much money do you want to make? Do you want to make $10,000 a month? I'll use that as an example. Then from there, it allows us to break that down, and you can measure your goals. So you want to set it specifically, so let's say it's $10,000 a month. The next thing you want to do is measure your goals. How is a way that you can track and measure if you're reaching your goals or not? Another beauty about being in the company is the fact that they have a tracking system where you can look at your downline, you can look at your sales throughout the month. So you actually have a tracking system where you can measure it. So you can use the tracking system. Yeah, we'll edit it. Okay, the next thing you want to do is set an attainable goal. So like I was saying before, people will say, oh, I want to go make $100,000 within the next month. And it's, if you break it down, it's almost impossible to do it. I'm not going to say it's impossible, because anything is possible, but is it really that attainable? Is it realistic? So what I mean by an attainable goal is, use someone else who's had success in the business. There's people who, Bobby Kim, for example, he's one of the top leaders in the Tampa market with this company. He hit sales director in 10 days. So that is something that is attainable and it can be done. Anyone joining my business, I'm definitely expecting you to hit sales director within the 4th week. That doesn't mean I'm going to be all over if you don't hit it, but my goal is just to help you start making money as soon as possible. So that's the standard I have set for myself as a leader. Anyone that joins my business, I want them to reach sales director within their first 4 weeks with the company. So you want to make sure it's attainable. I would say something like sales director first month is attainable. It's challenging, and it will require some effort on your end, but it is definitely attainable. So the next one here is R, and R stands for rewarding. So while you're sitting here thinking, if you want to make an extra $2,000 a month, an extra $10,000 a month, $50,000 a month, or whatever, you want to ask yourself, is it rewarding enough for me to take part in this business? And what I mean by that is, if your number is 10,000, While you're sitting there writing this out, think to yourself, how will your life be differently if you got $10,000 deposited into your bank account today? Would you be able to quit your job? Would you be able to go buy something? How would it change your life? And really let that sink in. So you want to ask yourself, is this goal rewarding enough for me to, step out of my comfort zone? Is it rewarding enough for me to, want to go through challenges and fight through the struggle to get to that point? Is it worth it? If it's not worth it, maybe you should increase the number a little bit, change it to 15,000. But you want to make sure it's rewarding enough. The last one is time. When do you want to hit this goal by? Some people say, I want to make $100,000 a month. It's like, okay, well, that's great. Have you sat down and asked yourself, what date do I want $100,000 a month to be made? So for me, for example, I want by June $10,000 a month as my income coming from FES. So you want to set a time frame as well. And one thing I recommend too is don't go setting 2-year goals, 3-year goals. Focus on your first month goal, a 30-day goal. I'll write it right here. Set a 30-day goal, 60-day goal, and a 90-day goal. Because you can't see 12 months ahead, but you can plan up for the next 3. That's it for step 2.